Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Between the Hashmarks, episode number 10. We're going to talk about all things football and a little bit about nothing. But, of course, this week, there were a lot of things happening in football, obviously with some big matchups this week as well. So, my name's Adonis. This is Tyler.
Wait. Mr. DeVito. Tommy D.
3 straight wins.
Wait, hold up. This is our 10th episode?
Yes.
That's double digits.
We hit
Something the Raiders and Vikings did not see.
We're going to get to all of that because I was not happy as you were.
How about I was on, wow, Danny DeVito's out here throwing the football, and then he made me just shut up. Tommy DeVito's out there doing it. He's 3-1 as a starter. Daniel Jones better watch out. That's all I got to say. He better watch out.
That's good old guaranteed money. I don't think he has anything to worry about.
Tommy DeVito literally probably made his agent 50 new clients just by seeing him on Monday night doing this and kissing the parents and doing all the things. This is the thing now. Everyone loves it. It's great. I love it. I think it's
the
sweet.
city of New York.
I love stories like this. It's great.
He's a baby-faced kid who's thrown into it, and he's for right now flourishing.
Living in his mom's basement, eating the Italian food.
You can't hate it. You can't hate it. But we're gonna get to Tommy DeVito. We got a lot ready for the show today, but we're going to hop in to the hometown team.
But if I was a podcaster living in my mom's basement, I'd be a loser. But Tommy DeVito's an NFL player living in his mom's basement. He's a stud.
He's doing great. So, first up, obviously, we have to talk about another crippling and distance-making loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everybody doubted whether or not you should start Trevor Lawrence. With the high ankle sprain, Doug Peterson didn't rule out that Trevor Lawrence was going to play. We saw him play.
He looked healthy. I was impressed.
He looked healthy, but he did not play up to what you're normally used to seeing from a guy like Trevor Lawrence.
He didn't play healthy, that's for sure.
He did not.
But he looked it. So, maybe he just played bad.
The Browns ended up winning that game, convincingly with good old Joe Flacco.
The new Joe Cole since Joe Burrow's not in. Joe Cole, Joe Flacco, 311, 3 tutties. He looked like he was reborn.
There's no rebirth.
Joe Flacco reborn. How about just hear me out. Greatest story on turf. Joe Flacco off the couch leads the Browns to the bowl. What a better story in the NFL.
That's no shot.
Joe Flacco.
No shot.
All he does is win bowls.
No shot. No shot at all. It's a breath of fresh air for the Browns fan base.
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
You like it. You're getting life because the quarterback position is something that has not been fluid all year long. They've seen 4 to 5 different starting quarterbacks, probably even more.
Four quarterbacks.
They even released P.J. Walker, Dorian Thompson Robinson,
UCLA guy,
Deshaun Watson, and now Joe Cool. So if you're the Browns fan base, you're excited, you're happy, you're hoping that you can continue this roll of good luck. Your defense is still great. Your defense is still amazing. They're going to ultimately decide games for you. It wasn't the quarterback position that you were quote-unquote worried about. As long as your defense can do the job, you're going to always be able to stay in games. So good win for them. As for the hometown team, the Jaguars, they have now dwindled to a 5% chance to make the number 1 overall seed and get that first round bye. So you can kiss those dreams goodbye. At this point, you just want to stay in the playoff hunt.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're gonna win that division. I don't really think that's gonna be a question mark unless C.J. Stroud is able to come back. He has not practiced any part this week, including today.
It's not a good indicator.
Might be his last chance. If he does not get on the practice field, he probably will not play. He probably will not pass concussion protocol, and the Texans will be without him this week. That is a big loss, obviously, because you saw what happened. Even when he was in the game against the Jets, they didn't have a chance in that game. They got blown out. 0-0 at half. They gave up 30 to the Jets in the second half. That's tough. I mean, that's no doubt about it. That's tough. And they get the Titans at Tennessee this week, which, talk about them in a second. And then they get the Cleveland Browns and get the Titans again.
Yep.
So, like I said, I think the Jags are going to end up winning this division. However, can the Texans manage to win with Mr. Turtleneck, old Davis Mills?
Oh, am I not turtly enough for your turtle club?
Turtleneck.
Whole turtleneck Mills.
He's out there doing it. But,
I mean, he'll be fine.
I think the Jags this week, this huge game against the Baltimore Ravens. This goes a long way.
I need
with
tickets to
number
that
one
game.
seed. I mean, I'll find some.
I might
I'll
wanna go.
I might just go tailgate. I love the tailgate down there. I used to have a blast right in the parking lot. It's sweet.
That's
We have
a big
great
game.
time. Might even go live from the Jags tailgate. How fun would that be?
I'm cool with it.
I think that would be
Cool
cool. I
with
think
it.
we might consider that. That'd be kind of a cool little episode. Be a little special one we put together.
It's gonna be cold as hell.
That's fine. I like it. That's what
You
it's all
do.
about. That's the NFL, man. It gets cold and
Oh,
it's fun. But they're playing Baltimore this week. Obviously, Baltimore's the number one seed. Baltimore wins this. Their odds of the number one seed are going to go way up after the Dolphins blew their lead against the Titans. This week, the Jags defense has to show up because they have not in the last 2 weeks, and that has been the difference in winning and losing. There's no getting around it. Obviously, they were put in bad positions by Lawrence with the 3 picks, and
Yeah, you can't win a game when you're throwing 3
yeah, and
interceptions.
your defense gives up points because of bad situations, but there was a lot of blown coverages, and the coverages is what was called. I mean, Njoku was running around there like he was an all-world, all-pro tight end, and I think he caught like 10 balls for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns or something like that,
did.
and he lit it up, but they were blowing coverages. I mean, there was people running down the field wide open. It just seemed like they weren't on the same page. The things that we were seeing from the defense, we are not seeing now, and it's mental mistakes. It wasn't necessarily on the physical side of the ball. They blew coverages, and you can't do that. Even quarterbacks like Joe Flacco can throw for 300 yards when they're wide open. But I don't know. I'm buying into Joe. I think Joe, 38-year-old Joe off the couch to the bowl. Let's go, Cleveland. I'm on board.
We'll see. But we'll get to that matchup, and we'll figure out if the Browns have a real chance, and if the Jaguars can keep themselves in a position to have a chance to not only compete for a playoff win, but compete for a Super Bowl win as well.
2 things the Jags got to do on defense this week: stop the running game, force Lamar to throw the ball
That's
down the
really
field.
hard, though.
They're going to have to
It's
stop
really
that running
hard.
game. And if the thing that the Jags have going for this game, and I like their matchup, is their true defensive ends off the side to get pressure on Lamar because they are very fast, and they can kind of keep Lamar in check and contain as best as you can, because we do know Lamar is a very, very good runner of the football. He's probably the best runner of the football we've seen since Michael Vick. And, I mean,
he's
that
an
goes
elusive
without
guy.
saying. You got to keep him in the pocket. If you
have
can
to.
keep him in the pocket, you can win the ballgame. And that's hard.
You
That's
can.
easier said than done.
It is.
But
they're going to switch the scheme up on you. I think it's really important not only for the defensive ends to want to come and play, to make sure that they're locking the edge, force them up the middle, and that's where your linebackers are going to be looking to make plays. Alua Khan is a very big determining factor in that game. He's big, he's physical, he loves the tackle. He's going to need to be able to send out when Lamar is trying to get out of the pocket and trying to run with the ball. As you said before, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, your game plan is to force Lamar to throw the ball. You have to.
That's the game. You if you let him sit back there and run the ball, run play actions like they're going
be
to,
a long
they're going to
day.
eat you for lunch. There's no getting around it. However, the one thing that I sorry, God. I got a text message in there.
I don't even know what's happening.
So, anyways, you've got. Give me a second. Oh boy, you've got to keep him. You got to keep him in check, man.
I'm okay. I'm good now.
You gotta keep him in check. You have got to. I think the game plan this week has to be Trayvon Walker, and it has to be Josh Allen keeping that quarterback contained, not necessarily rushing, but just keeping the contain. And when you run stunts, you're going to have to get there, because if you stunt
You're
and you
gonna
miss, then he's going to get outside and it's over.
It's over,
So-
it's over, and it's over. You stunt, you miss, the game is over.
That game will be won on the front line. If they can, not only do it's a different thing, because not only do your ends have to rush hard, but you have to contain, and your D tackles got to get a push. If your D tackles can get a push and you don't let them step up in the pocket and run, that is a big factor. So, like, that front four has to play great. If they decide to play quarterback spy, he's got to be moving with Lamar. You can't lose. You cannot lose your assignments with Lamar Jackson like they've been doing, because that will kill you against him more than it will anyone, because with all his scrambling, it gets a lot of dicey and you get mixed up on defense and you're here and you're there. The communication's got to be there. They got to get that right, because that will be the big factor.
And the biggest thing with these mobile quarterbacks is trusting your instincts, right? Like, you got Mahomes barreling down on the sideline. You got Jalen Hurts barreling down on the sideline. You got Lamar Jackson barreling down on the sideline. They're looking to make playmaking throws. They might hit you with a pump fake. Boom, they're down the sideline, gone. So it's really important, just to add on what you said, is to trust your instincts and don't bite on the fakes and stay true to your game. If you can do that, then at that point of emphasis, the defensive line against the offensive line, making Lamar Jackson throw the ball, the game will be within reach. If you let the plays develop, if you give them time, game's over.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, the Baltimore defense has not been as good as it has been earlier in the year, so I do think that Trevor and them can still make plays. Trevor looked fine last week. He made some, he just played a bad game. I don't think he didn't look healthy. He was running. He was fine. To me personally, I saw him run, and I didn't see a whole lot of, he looked fine. So I think, obviously, with another week under his belt, he'll definitely be 100% healthy. I don't even know if he's on the injury report.
I didn't see him.
So, once again, that game is just.
We might as well go ahead and do the pick of the week on that.
Going to be one up front. That's going to be the name. The thing about the Jaguars, I'm going to take the Jags. They're plus 3.5. But I think the thing with the Jags is, when you start talking about them, all of a sudden they become like the old Jaguars. When they're running under the radar and they're not playing, they tend to play better. So it's weird. I think they're going to get it together, and I think they're going to play well, and I think they are going to win. It's a Sunday night game at home. I think the Jags are just going to find a way to win this ball game. I don't have any rhyme or reason. I just think those defensive ends are going to cause havoc, and I think that's going to be the difference in the ball game.
I don't know, man. I think what the Ravens are doing this year is going to be nothing short of spectacular. I think they started the year great. We're at the middle of the season, towards the end of the season. They're still playing amazing. Lamar Jackson is having a fantastic year. He's going to need to put the ball in the air more, but their offense is undeniable. Their defense is number one in the league, apparently, according to the stats. I thought it was the Browns or the Jets. Apparently, the Ravens have the number one defense in the league. So.
They do by the numbers, but then again, you have to look in last couple of weeks. They haven't been the number one defense. They gave up 31 last week to the Rams. I mean,
which is inexcusable.
They've blown leads. It's not. They're not what they were. Now, injuries cause that sometimes, and you got to fight through that. Yeah, 100%. And I mean,
it's a laundry list.
The Jags have that's the reason why they're having a problem. There's no getting around it, is the injuries, but you got to fight through that. That is the NFL. That is what happens. This is who it is. They have key injuries and they're beat up. There's no getting around it.
Yeah.
But you've got to, and you have got to fight through it, and your guys got to be ready, because this is the NFL and everyone gets hurt. Yeah. Everyone gets hurt.
I'm taking the Ravens in that game. I think the Ravens are going to do the job that needs to be done. The last time the Ravens came to Jacksonville, it was a nail-biter all the way to the end. And I think it'll be the same this year. So I'm going to take the Ravens in that matchup against the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars are going to take another loss, and I think the Jaguars are going to have to really reevaluate their goals, not only for this season but also for the postseason.
I mean, it seems like anytime a team has a chance to take over a number one seed in the AFC, they just blow it. And I'm going to look forward to continue again this week. So here we go. And by that, I'm talking about the Miami Dolphins. They had the opportunity to gain control of that number one seed and be in the driver's seat. And what did they do? They did fraud fin things. And I started to buy in last week, like I said, and then they proved to me once again that they just, for whatever reason, do stupid things. And they did it again. The game was given to them by the Titans. They muff a punt. They score.
Yeah.
And the game was – and Levis threw a pick six to a defensive tackle. I mean, they did. The game was given to them.
Threw it right to them.
The game was given to them. They were up 13 points with – they were up 13 points with, what, 3.5 minutes, something like that. And they gave the game away to a rookie quarterback. I mean, that's – You can't do that. Like that's
No.
just not that at home. I mean, that is probably one of the worst losses you're ever going to see. And I think it teams leading by 13 or 14 after 3.5 minutes on the fourth, 0 and 716 of the first win. So that's kind of impressive. That's impressive.
I mean, and if you're the Miami Dolphins, right? Like, it's something I'm gonna have to agree with you on this week. I've been all for the Dolphins can get it done. They're given a bad rap. They're number one offense in the league. Defense is beat up, but they can get it done. This week, there was nothing but purely fraudulent behavior happening.
Yeah, definitely fraudulent.
Just fraudulent behavior. Even up until the last play, 4th and 2. You're marching down the field. You need a field goal to win. 4th and 2, there was not a pass attempt.
You got sacked.
Yes,
You got sacked, and you're playing the Titans. It's not like you're playing world beaters. I mean, the Titans are what are they 4-8 coming in this game? They're 5-8 now, and I mean,
They are.
obviously, I think the Titans are better because the Titans have the Titans have gone to their rookie quarterback, and I think Will Levis is making strides to be a good football player.
Well, and the reason why he's making strides is because the one thing he's doing that Tannehill isn't is targeting your wide receiver one.
DeAndre Hopkins he's improved drastically since Levis is taking over.
I mean, he balled.
If there's one thing that I can say, Will Levis, listen, buddy, this is not college football. When you pull down the ball and run, do not try to run people over.
Oh, you saw the shoulder he threw on Ramsey?
I mean, come on, buddy. I don't care if it's Ramsey. I don't care who it is. You cannot risk yourself getting injured when you're QB1 in the NFL.
And they're looking, and let's be honest, they're looking to kill you.
They want to kill
When
you.
you tuck it, that's an open invitation for them to knock your head off.
This is not college football, buddy. This is the NFL, and you will learn quickly when you lower your shoulders on people.
He gonna
they
learn.
will blast
He
you.
gonna learn. He gonna learn.
The problem is you might not get up and go play again. I get you're a big boy. I understand that.
He's a big kid, but
He's a big boy, but
you get a dude barreling down on you.
But you sometimes you swallow your pride and be like, oh, these guys are big too. That's just my opinion.
Listen, in that situation, you need to slide, man. Just slide.
The last thing I want to talk about is the Cowboys-Eagles, buddy. You called me a closet homer Cowboy fan. I am not a closet homer Cowboy. I speak truth. What did the Cowboys do? They came in. The Eagles came in, and they just handled business. And Dak Prescott continues to crush these guys. I mean, he literally is slinging it on anyone and everyone. Now, the Eagles' pass defense has not been very good. I get it. But what did he do? He only turned the ball over once. It was a fumble. That was his first fumble loss of the year. He's lost one fumble, and the passing was perfect. Like, he could not have played a better football game. I didn't see one throw where I was like, man, that was terrible. He got away with it.
He played lights out.
He played lights out, and he didn't have to do anything in the fourth quarter because they were up by a ton. And the Dallas defense forced three. Now, this game could have been way different because the Dallas defense did force 3 turnovers on the 3 best players of the Philadelphia Eagles. Devonta fumbled, Jalen Hurts fumbled, and A.J. Brown fumbled. And they were all in Dallas territory, I believe. Yeah. So, like, you take two of those, and you turn them into 2 touchdowns, then we have a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously
big
turnovers.
Performance from the defense.
Oh, the defense. They got after Hurts. But my problem is the Philadelphia Eagles. My problem with them is they're stale. Their offense is stale. By that I mean, like,
what you mean?
They should be a running football team. They have the best, maybe the best offensive line in football. You should be running the ball. DeAndre Swift should be more involved in the football game.
You heard about the
stop running quarterback powers. Like,
really,
what are you doing?
Really quick, you heard about the Philadelphia Eagles fans standing outside of the stadium with signs, run the ball.
Yeah, 100%. And they still didn't run the ball. Now, to be fair, they were down in the ball game. It's hard to establish a running game when you're down. So, like, game flow matters too. Like, it does matter. But when you first come out, and literally I watched them come out at half. They got the ball, and they ran, first down, and then they stopped running it again. It was very strange. It's the new offensive coordinator, the new defensive coordinator. These guys just aren't. They're calling games that I don't understand. Brian Johnson is the offensive coordinator, and with Brian Johnson, I mean, like, he used to call games for Dak in high school, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, really?
Or not high school, I'm sorry, college. And he would have Dak doing the same things, running the football all over the place at Mississippi State. So these guys, like, I don't know. The offense is stale. And even A.J. Brown has even said it our routes are very, very lacklustery, and it's just, like I said, just a stale offense. They need to figure it out because it is not the same offense as it was last year. And Jalen Hurts, like, you're running Jalen Hurts 10 times a game. Like,
you don't need to.
He's beat up. Like, give it to Swift. Swift is a great football player.
Yes.
I just don't like what they're doing over there. And Philly definitely does not look like the same team to me.
No. Really quick for me, Dallas came. They didn't have to go anywhere. They stayed home. They hosted the Philadelphia Eagles. They whooped ass, okay? They beat butt. They put Philly over their lap, and they whooped ass. It wasn't as clean of a whooping as the 49ers game, but still, I think it was an even bigger of a statement game because the one critique that all Eagles fans had is, hey, listen, man, we played a 49ers team where we are 11 days and 3 games in, okay? A.J. Brown at the post game press conference said, hey, listen, we were beat up, we were tired, okay? That energy is going to be a lot different come Sunday in Dallas. It wasn't at all. Dallas's defense stepped up big. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, a name that I haven't mentioned all year, Stephon Gilmore. Okay, him and A.J. Brown went at it.
They did go at it.
He metaphorically snatched his chain.
He got in A.J.'s head. He really did.
But the thing about it is, it doesn't take much for A.J. Brown to get frustrated if you notice on the field. Like, he's no DK Metcalf.
But he's been very, very – A.J. Brown has been very quiet in his previous years. He's been very outspoken this year about how he does not like the way things are going.
No, and it's clear, and it's just and like you said.
So it's not like he's just very unhappy. And he understands that winning games is great and all, but he knows that they have to be better or they're not going to go anywhere.
Exactly.
So now A.J. Brown is speaking up. He wants to be a leader. I think he's going about the wrong way, saying the way he's doing it, but I understand his frustrations.
And he should have frustrations because to Philly fans, because, you know, they feel like, oh, man, what is he talking about? He didn't know what he's talking about. Whatever. Listen, you're 10-3. This is correct. You're tied 3 ways for the best record in the league. That is awesome. But unlike other teams, you made it to the NFC Championship game last year, and then you eventually made it to the Super Bowl. The standard, the goal this year is only hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Anything less than that is a failure of a season, right? You're going to make the playoffs. You're going to make a deep run in the playoffs. The only thing is, the teams that you're going to potentially play in the 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys, you haven't beat. You split with Dallas, and you should have lost the first game, right? Like, you should have lost the first game. That got sacked on the 18-yard line.
Game of inches, that game, because there was a lot of times that Dallas could have gotten the end zone.
You see what I'm saying? So, like, Philly, you're 10-3. That's cool. That's dandy. That's awesome. But your only goal is to win a Super Bowl, and right now you're not playing as nearly as well as that team that played in the Super Bowl last year. So don't know what it needs to happen. The offensive coordinator, he's going to need to go in the bag. He's going to need to do some things. You're going to get past your next 4 games really easy. The Seahawks game, I'm going to take the Seahawks in that game.
No.
Taking them.
Still taking them. Still taking the Eagles in that.
Taking old Geno Smith. They wrote me back, and
if Geno plays, Drew Lock might get the helm. Geno was a late scratch last week. He might be a scratch again this week. We do not know. We won't know until Monday night. But whatever. That's not that big of a deal because Drew Lock played very good against the Niners.
Oh, did he?
Did. He had 250, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Very, very solid game. I mean, the Niners are just very good. I mean, let's call it what it is.
I was going to say, you can't really do much there.
So, on the other side of the ball, the Dallas Cowboys are right at the right time. They are playing their best football. It's not even close. Both sides of the ball, their defense, their offense, they're getting turnovers. They're making plays. And Dak Prescott, like I said 2 weeks ago, should be the front runner for the MVP. And the odds makers now have fallen right into what I said when he was 7-1, and he is going to plus 150.
No.
And Brock Purdy has going to plus 170. So
that's the man.
Dak is your front runner, like I said, when you could have got him at 7-1 2 weeks ago. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for him, Johnny?
You better reveal behind what's door number 1.
But Dak can win it or lose it in these next couple games. He has Buffalo, and then he has the Dolphins.
Well, listen, it just so happens that we're kind of going through our games of the week, right? Like, Eagles, Seahawks. And now you have Dallas. And on the other side of the ball, you have the Buffalo Bills. And it's in Buffalo.
I told you Buffalo was getting it right. Last week, I told you that Buffalo was getting it right. And they were going to beat Kansas City, and they did.
Do you want to talk about what you want to talk about right now?
But now we're going to go right into what I was going to talk about.
Go ahead.
Listen, guys. Listen. I've never seen two people scream so loud about a call that was the right call. I mean, that is it's terrible for the league for the game to end like that. First of all, the game wasn't over. Let's get that straight. The game wasn't over. Josh Allen was going to get the ball back anyways. So the game wasn't over, Mahomes. Second of all, Kadarius Toney was lined up off sides. I mean,
Yeah, you can't.
he was lined up off sides. Like,
There's really nothing you can say
half his
about
body
it.
was in the neutral zone. Like, literally, he was lined up in the neutral. The ref threw the flag, and the reason this is a problem is because Travis Kelce makes one of the greatest plays in NFL history, and it doesn't count. Let's
Yeah,
call it what it
man.
is.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
call it what it is. He
If
catches
it-
the ball
if
and makes a
it-
move,
if it
throws it back.
stands, it's up there.
It's one of the greatest plays.
It is.
However, that's why everyone's making it a big deal. It's not if it's a 5-yard gain, no one says a word.
No.
If that play was a 5-yard pass, and
Bring it on
oh,
back.
why bring it on back?
Bring it
Let's
on
go.
back.
But since the play happened, now it's a big deal. The ref did his job, and then Mahomes was on the sidelines throwing a hissy fit and should have been tossed out of the game.
He
Personally,
was cursing.
he was going after the
He was
ref.
cursing.
He should have been tossed. The way he went after him and the way he was doing that and getting held back by his teammates, you can't go after a ref. I get he wasn't close, but he was going after him.
Yeah,
and
he
he
was
was
going
going
after
to
him.
scream at him, and he was going to do all the things. I did see Wednesday that Mahomes came out and said, "I screwed up. It was offsides, and it was the right call." And he said it's never been called. Well, it's been called 11 times this year. So they are making an emphasis to call that play. And listen, guys, I've played receiver, and I've played receiver too. Like, you are taught at 5 years old, and I get it. When you're the invert side receiver, usually you don't. But you should still look and go, am I good? And then he will literally say yes or no. And they want a warning? You're in the NFL. You shouldn't get a warning. This is pee-wee stuff we're talking here. You don't get a warning.
No.
And like Richard Sherman said, you don't get warnings on defense. You
No.
get flags thrown when you're the defensive
Yes, you
end.
do.
You get
Yes, you
flags
do.
thrown. So
Yes,
guess
you
what?
do.
There's no warning. You're man up and tell what your real frustration is your receivers. That's your real frustration, and you know it as well as I know it. You're not mad at the refs. You're not mad at the NFL. You're mad that your team is not very good because you don't have receivers to catch the football. And that's the bottom
That's
line.
the root of the problem.
He's frustrated with the season because they are not the same Chiefs team,
No,
and we all
no.
know that. And they're in danger of not even winning their division.
What?
They're 8-5. I think they're 8. Are they 8-5? I think they're 8-5. They've already have a loss to Denver. Denver is 7-6, and they still got to play each other again.
Kansas City's 8-5.
The Broncos are
Ooh.
one game behind them. I'm just saying it is very interesting. And the Broncos are playing great football, and the Chiefs are not playing great football. And in Denver, they didn't even score a touchdown. So the Denver Broncos, after getting 70 hung on them, might come back and win the AFC West. How crazy would that be? It would probably be one of the best coaching performances by Sean Payton. And I was making fun of him because he was saying it was the worst.
But that's not what we want, Tyler, because I don't want to hear Broncos country let's ride. I want that to remain a joke. I don't need there to be any redemption for that. Okay, like let Russ be.
Sean Payton gonna be riding, boy. Ain't gonna be swinging the lasso.
And in your opinion, how likely is that to happen?
I mean, if you go look at the remaining schedule, they have to play each
Right
other
here.
in one game.
Right here.
Yeah.
This is Kansas City's schedule.
Kansas City gets the Raiders, which they're probably going to beat the Raiders. They're going to beat the Patriots. I'm sorry, they don't have to play. I thought they had to play the Broncos one more time. They must
No,
have beat
they
them
already-
earlier
they
in the
already
year,
beat
so
them
that is
twice.
my fault. I thought they played the Chargers last week
They
of the
already beat
season.
them. They
They
lost
beat
to them,
them. They
actually.
lost to them once, and they beat them once. So they are probably going to win their division because I'm assuming their division record is better. I have not looked. They're probably going to win the division, but the Broncos.
Real close.
But the way that they're playing, the way that the Broncos are playing, like they have a chance. They have a legit chance to win. They have a chance to win the division. I mean, let's face it, the Chiefs aren't playing good. The Denver Broncos are playing good. So, hey, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying the Chiefs better be aware.
Well,
'Cause
I think
it's very
also
close.
a big thing now with 4 weeks left in football, right? Like, if your odds are good to make the playoff, that's awesome. That's great. But I think now it's really important to like map out your future. If you have really high odds to make the playoff, that's like I said, that's great. Now you need to get ready for who you might be playing in the playoffs because there is no overwhelming like AFC or NFC team, right? Like the 49ers were
Yeah.
really good. Baltimore is really good.
I agree.
But Baltimore can lose. The
course they can
49ers,
lose.
probably one of the upper echelon teams that, you're like, man, there's a clear dominant team in the NFC. You don't have that in the AFC.
Not even close.
Any of those teams that could potentially make the play, like, hey, Steelers might slide in.
There's 11 teams in the AFC at 7-6. So, I mean, we are going to, over these next couple weeks, and there's 3 teams at 8-5. I mean, over these next couple weeks, we are going to see a lot of jostling back and forth through these playoff spots. Now, you're in the playoffs now if you're in the AFC fighting for a wild card spot. You are in the playoffs. Right now, as we speak, you got to win football games, because if not, you're going to get left. You're going to get left in the dust.
Like, this is insane.
It is. It's what I mean. There are
Look at this.
there are 11 teams in the AFC. There's 16 teams in the
Colts,
AFC, and
Texans.
11 of them are 7-6. This is the best football we've ever seen, like competitive wise. I feel like, and anybody that makes that AFC playoff has a chance to go to the bowl. That's just stone cold. They're gonna have to show up, and they're gonna have to play every single week.
Yeah, and these teams, the teams that are even competing, like, defense is played at an all-time high level. You don't know what you're gonna get, right? Any
It's
team
hard.
can show up and win the bowl. He's right.
And like I said, you're going to have to show up and play, and then that's just the facts of it. I mean, the Texans are tied, the Colts are tied, the Steelers are tied, the Broncos are tied. I actually think the Broncos are going to find a way into the playoffs.
Me too.
No, whether I don't think it's going to be winning the division because of their schedule and the Chiefs' schedule, but they could. Because
Postseason is going to be real saucy this year.
The postseason from week 1,
It's gonna be real
you are
saucy.
going to want
It's
to
gonna be
watch
real
because
saucy.
it is going to be very, very fun.
You
There
could
is no
have
dominance.
number one seeds get buys.
The number
Excuse
one
me.
seed got a
You
bye.
could have 2 seeds getting knocked off by the 7.
I wouldn't be shocked if all 3 road teams would win in the AFC this year. I'm just saying I don't know
That's
who they're
gonna
going.
be good.
I don't know who they're going to be, but I'm just saying it definitely is a thing and it could happen. So it's not the same in the NFC. There are a lot of people fighting for the NFC, but we all know that the Niners are the best team, and it's not
Clearly.
even close, to be honest. If they stay healthy, I think they just have a one-way trip to the bowl.
Yeah, and then the only argument is that you go, well, Adonis, Tyler, how could you say the 49ers are the best team in the NFL and they have the same record as Dallas and Philly? Okay, cool. Let me pose this question to you. What happened when the 49ers played both of those teams?
They destroyed them.
Destruction. Pure destruction.
And-
There's a clear number 1 team in the league.
And Baltimore
in the
has
NFL.
to go to Candlestick Park, I think, next week. And I think that is not a good spot for the Ravens to try to beat the 49ers because that team is offensive line, defensive line. And once again, they know their window of this opportunity, the 49ers do, because you have a quarterback making peanuts and you can pay every single of the guys around him, and he's surrounded with talent, and they have done that, and now they all are in for the bowl. And they can do it over the next 2 years. I mean, they literally, they're all going to stay there.
And
They're
the
all gonna do
dude that's being paid peanuts is having an MVP level season.
that. He is. Him and Dak. And like I said, Dak
How you figure that?
Dak could lose the MVP.
He
over the next
going
couple
to.
weeks.
He's going
I
to.
think he's going to light Buffalo up.
No.
I think he will light Buffalo up. That defense is, the secondary is still not what it was at the beginning of the season. And Dak Prescott is playing at an all-time high. And it looks like he is taken to this offense, and it's not the same Dak. It's 1, 2, 3 off his back foot, and the ball is out. Like, the defensive rush just doesn't even have a chance at this point. And that's what you want. And when the read's not there, he knows where to go. And when they come out with an all-out blitz, he knows where to go. And Jake Ferguson and CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, man, these guys are skilled.
Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, book it, bet it, talk about it, sit on it, whatever you want to do. Brock Purdy is the NFL MVP. Simple, plain, he's cool as a cucumber. Man, the man is as bland and vanilla as they come, and he's doing it. That stretch against the Vikings,
Dak Prescott
No.
wins. And I am one of the few people that back Dak Prescott. I always have. I think he's a very, very underrated football player, and he's coming up and he's showing it. He's not getting the unlucky breaks he did last year with all the picks and all the tip balls and stuff like that. So,
After this year, after this award, they're going to call him Mr. Relevant. It's all Brock Purdy, baby.
I mean, I think that's a great story. That would be obviously first ever Mr. Relevant to win the MVP. That's not even like everyone knows that. So
All right, so I think we've done most of the picks, like inadvertently.
Yeah.
Eagles, Seahawks. I take Seahawks. You take Eagles. Ravens, Jaguars. You take Jags. I take Ravens.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Colts and Steelers. And the reason why I put this game in is because both teams are 7-6. Like at this point in time, every win matters when you're right on the cusp. So who are you taking in that game? I believe Mitchell Trubisky's starting.
Mitch Trubisky. First of all, I'm telling you right now, I'm never taking a team led by Mitch Trubisky. So I'm just going to tell you that right now. So no, I'm not picking the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can assure you that offense is anemic, and they are not very good. The Colts are only 1.5 favorite. I do love the Colts. I know it is on the road. The Colts are very, very. The Colts are very. Like their offense and their defense are like, I don't know. I don't see anything special on the Colts side of the ball, but I don't
Gardner Minshew, baby.
On the Pittsburgh side of the ball, there's nothing that remotely says that we are going to be good at football.
Defense.
That's it. But we saw last week when they don't play defense, they don't win because Bailey Zappi looked like Tom Brady in the first half. And he was just out there slinging. I think he had 200 yards in the first half. And now the Patriots didn't score a point in the second half. But, they didn't have to because Pittsburgh can't score.
All right, well, then we'll roll Colts in that game. Bills, Cowboys.
This is very interesting because I think I'm on the Dallas wagon. I think Dallas is very, very good. It's weird to me that they're an underdog in this football game. They're +2. Which, and like I said, it's because Buffalo's playing better now that they've gone let Josh Allen be Josh Allen again.
Mm-hmm.
But
and winning that nail biter against the Chiefs was important.
I think Dallas has taken that step, the step that people are always like, they don't win this game, they choke, they do this. I think Dallas is on that next verge of being a great football team. And this is where they can prove it over the next couple of weeks. And I do think they are going to take that step. And I think Dallas is going to win this football game in Buffalo. And this will show you, because when you're on the road and both teams are fighting for a lot of playoff in this. I mean, Buffalo is fighting more than Dallas, but Dallas is still looking to win that division in the East, and they got a lot of things going for them. I think Dallas is taking that step. I really do.
I think there's no shot for them to win the division.
There is a shot. They're both 10-3.
Well, yeah, but Philly has the tiebreakers.
But I don't know if you know this, but Philly has to play Tommy DeVito twice. Tommy DeVito.
Hey, put the calzones up. Put the big ziti away. That's a dream that ain't gonna happen. Okay, Mom. It don't matter how much food you make him. It don't matter how much you make his bed, do his laundry.
Listen, the Eagles can't stop the pass.
They're never beating the Giants. They're like the Giants are never.
Division game. Tommy DeVito. He's ready. He's got confidence, and I'm in on Tommy D.
Listen, I'll buy you food if the Giants beat Philly. Ain't gonna happen. It's not never gonna happen. You don't have to worry about that.
3-1, Tommy DeVito.
No, sir. Babyface kid's not gonna happen. But I do have the Cowboys winning this game against Buffalo on Sunday. I do. I'm gonna take the Dallas Cowboys. Can't believe I am, but I better do it. Which now I need to hear the locks of the week because I'm trying to put some money on.
Well, I can tell you, last week, if you were bet against me in every spot, you won, because I had the Dolphins who were covering, and then the Dolphins became the Dolphins. I had under in the Patriots-Steelers game, and they decided they wanted a scoring frenzy for the first time in their lives.
That was broken the first half.
It was broken.
It was broken the first quarter.
And I don't even think that anybody scored. I don't even know if anybody scored in the second half. That's how bad it was. Anyways, whatever. I was way off. But, you have weeks where you're way off.
Yeah,
I'm going to redeem myself.
Nah, this is a bad week for you.
I'm going to redeem myself. Raiders-Chargers tonight. Under in that ball game again. We're going under on a Thursday night game. The reason I'm going under in this ball game is we have Aiden O'Connell against Easton Stick. And the Raiders defense, I don't know if you know, Easton Stick.
His last name is Stick?
Yeah, Stick Man. That's what I call him. Stick Man. We draw a figure of him. Stick Man.
Under.
We're taking under because
Keenan Allen got ruled out too.
and Keenan Allen's out, and I don't think Jacobs is going to play on top of it. So there's a lot of things that's saying, yeah, I think Jacobs is out. I think Keenan Allen's out. All these guys are obviously the way the Raiders and Chargers score points, and I mean these guys just Easton Stick is not. I mean, he's a backup quarterback in this league for a reason. And Aiden O'Connell, the Raiders don't have a starting quarterback on their roster. I hate to say it. Aiden O'Connell, I love what you're doing, buddy. You are doing what you can with what you got. Like you know, your physical abilities enable what you can do, and I respect you. But like the year and the time.
I like that.
The year and the time of statue quarterbacks does not exist anymore. If you are not an athletic quarterback, you do not have a shot in this league. And Aiden O'Connell, the time has passed you by. I think you'll be a great backup in this league, but that's it. And that's the Raiders don't have a starting quarterback on the roster. And if they get one, they could be very, very good. But today, there isn't any talented, like there's talent on the field, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, but like superstar talent, we don't have it in this game. Adams is it. Jacoby Myers is good, but like we got to have a quarterback to get him the ball. I'm not saying it's gonna be 3-0, but I wouldn't mark out 13-10 or something like that. So I like under in this game as my lock of the week. My second lock of the week is going to be. I had this locked up and I'm trying to find it. Where did it go? Oh, the Chiefs and the Patriots. I know the Chiefs aren't playing good football.
No,
like,
they're not.
They're not.
They're playing
let's
real
face
bad
it,
football, actually.
The Patriots aren't very good.
No.
And that team's checked out. I mean, they honestly have checked out.
Yeah, Belichick's
They did win
done.
last week. They win last week, but like
That's really distracting
Pittsburgh's
for
the
the
most
football team.
overrated 7-6 football team I have ever seen.
Oh, wow.
They have the worst offense. They have worse offense than the Raiders. I mean,
think
they
with
are
Pickett,
bad.
they were fine. They were okay.
But they were still the worst offense. And they haven't had a 30th ranked offense all year. They still don't have a 30th
What you
ranked
mean?
offense.
After they fired Canada, they had 300, 400 yards of offense.
That
Game
was
after.
the most they've had ever. And they haven't had since. They couldn't do anything against the Patriots. I think Patriots have checked out. They know Bill Belichick's leaving at the end of the year.
Exact. That's the huge thing.
And
He's
I just
done.
don't think that they care. I mean, he's going to coach because he's a professional. But my point is that they've checked out. The Chiefs are angry. They lost last week. They need a dub. They have to get a dub.
They're going to take it
They're
right
minus
off
8.5. I think it's going to be very, very tough for the Patriots to score in this game. And I think the Chiefs they'll hang 24. I got like a 24-10 game. So minus 8.5 was the other game that I liked the most.
Yeah, the Chiefs are looking to get it off of the Patriots' ass.
And my last lock of the week is going to be a road dog. Or I'm sorry, a home dog, which I hate.
They looking for get back.
You know what?
That's
I'm
the
not
angle.
doing that. I decided I'm changing
That's
that.
pain.
Because I had 4 games that I decided between.
My
My last game is going to be Niners minus 12.5 against the Cardinals at home.
Don't do it. Don't you fall into that trap.
Listen.
Nope. Don't want to hear it. Don't you,
You
fall
want
into that trap.
stats?
It doesn't matter. You want to know why it doesn't matter? I fell victim. I got hurt. I took Cowboys 13.5 against the
Listen.
Cardinals without Kyler Murray.
I
got
remember this
toasted.
game, but that was earlier in the season. These guys are good now.
It's all a trap.
The 49ers
curse.
they're not a team that falls into traps. And let me tell you why. Do you know when a team is a double-digit favorite in this league, it comes through 72% of the time that the
Until it
double-digit
doesn't.
actually covers. It doesn't matter. We're playing numbers here. And the numbers are the 49ers are 1,000 times better than the Arizona Cardinals. And Kyler Murray is not going to make enough plays against that defense. The Niners don't lose focus. I don't know if you know this. They don't lose focus. McCaffrey, big day. Ayuk, big day. Debo, big day. Big day all around. The
Them Cardinals going to put their foot all up the 49ers'
Niners
ass.
minus 12.5. Lock it in, boys.
You really think that?
So let's go ahead and let's come back.
All right.
Raiders under 34. Raiders Chargers under 34.5.
I like that.
34.5.
I love it.
Taking the Chiefs minus 8.5 on the
Come
road.
Come on, baby.
And then a minus 12.5.
Curse.
Niners
Curse.
at home.
Dead. They're going to smoke them.
You guys can thank me next week. Right?
Kyler going to break his
Listen,
foot off.
my record did go to 8-5 after last week because of the situation. I lost all 3. But as you remember, I didn't love a lot last week.
It's
But I had to
personal
come
pain.
up with 3. So This week, I actually love my picks.
I love all of them, too, until you get to that 49er game.
Minus 12.5. Lock it up. That might be the easiest bet of the year.
All of this. I'm just keeping I'm keeping all of it right here. So when I watch that game, Kyler scrambles into the end zone for 7 points. I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna be like, look at this.
I got a 28-10 ball game. Lock it in. Minus 12.
James Conner makes a move.
And feel very comfortable about
at the
it.
40, at the 30, James Conner scampers
Trips over his feet and fumbles.
Yeah, okay. You will see if that happens. I don't know. Listen, I think all of his locks of the week, honestly, though, are good. Yet last week, listen.
It was a novel.
I understand that wins are wins and losses are losses. Yeah. But come on, general public, the masses. There was no way anybody thought that Pittsburgh over was going to hit.
There's no possible way to think that's ever going to hit. Because
come on, man.
They stink.
That can't count against them. There's no – they said like 90% of the money in America was on the under. You just never saw that coming.
Well, yeah, it was. But usually when the public's on something, you do want to go the opposite way because the public is wrong a lot. But that's one that I thought the public was going to get right.
I watched that game and I said, this is not happening. This is just not happening. And it happened.
I mean, I can't believe the Raiders are -3 tonight. I'd just put them in a pick 'em, but they're just getting 3 points for home field.
What do you mean? Justin Herbert's not playing. Keenan Allen's not playing.
Once again, Aiden O'Connell was a backup quarterback. Easton Stick is a backup quarterback.
Just enough.
Keenan Allen isn't playing, but they still have football players. Josh Palmer's back. Josh Palmer's a very good football player.
Who?
Chargers. Josh Palmer, Austin Eckler. All those guys are good. Derwin James. All these guys can play.
You don't believe that?
Khalil Mack had 7 sacks last time he played.
We're going to stay on offense. Austin Eckler has been getting his carry amount taken. He's been getting snatched.
Yeah, because they want to throw it to him more. I know they've been giving it to Josh Kelly.
Quentin Johnston.
He's not very good.
Two games. Drop game-winning tutties.
He's not very good. I said that when he was drafted. I didn't love him.
Outside of Josh Palmer, they butt-ass naked in the middle of the ocean.
I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, they're not high-powered. There's no getting around it, but the one thing that we have going for us is our defense.
There you go.
Lights out.
There you go. And listen, I will give it to him. I texted him. Max Crosby's a dog.
He is
certified Rottweiler. Okay, he's a dog. My man, whole leg was in the backfield. Yo, there was a get off. And I know this is off topic, and I'm sorry, but I'll say this: I'm giving the man his flowers.
I think he's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. I keep calling
this man, because up until the game, he was like a game time decision. And he said he wanted to play. This man had a get off on 3rd and 6. My man was smelling Josh Dobbs' bald head. He was so close. Like, it was insane. They went back and ran the replay. Max Crosby, bona fide, freak of nature, defensive end of the year to me. I watched it.
He looks like to me that he just has fun doing it too, which is what you want. And he's talked about it. He said, why do you do all this effort and why do you put all this effort into and like getting your nutrition and all this stuff right? And Max Crosby simply looked at that guy and said, it's my job.
I mean,
and if everybody looked at it like that, that would have been very, very.
He's nice. He's very, very good.
He's the best.
I mean, listen, Max Crosby, I'm giving you your flowers, baby. Here you go. You take those, okay? But that's it for the picks of the week. That's it for the locks of the week. We're going to roll right into top 5 teams that you have in the NFL. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just going to be nice with it.
This is pretty easy.
If you do not have the 49ers as your number 1 team in the NFL, 1, you're a hater. 2, you're doing drugs. 3, you just don't know football.
4, you're a Cowboys fan.
Or 4. Obviously, 49ers are the number 1 team in football by a mile. The reason why is because guess what? The other 2 teams in the NFC with the best record, I already said it once and I'll say it again. They mollywopped them. They beat them down. So, 49ers number 1, Cowboys number 2. Statement game against the Eagles. They came in, they took care of business, they beat ass. They're going to come in at number 2. Number 3, I have the Ravens. Why? Because the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. Man, it's not close. Okay? Lamar Jackson is doing his thing. This past week, even though they should not have been taken into overtime by the Los Angeles Rams, they did, but they still came out with the win. Lamar Jackson put the ball in the air, and he did his job.
He did.
Number 4, the Buffalo Bills. Okay, Buffalo Bills beat Kansas City. Buffalo Bills might be back on track. Josh Allen might have had that sit down that he needed with Sean McDermott, and I think he's got it all ironed out. We'll see this
The
week.
firing of Ken Dorsey is looking like a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Definitely. So I'm going to say Buffalo is my number 4 team. I think they really got things back on track. They got a mega matchup this week against the Cowboys. Josh Allen's looking to take care of business.
Yeah.
Number 5 team in the league is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, even though they got ass whooped against the Cowboys, they are still a good team. They're not bad. They're still a good team.
Can't turn the ball around any time.
That's the thing, right?
And
Mistakes.
it was all in territory, so like they were moving the ball. It wasn't like they were not moving the ball.
They were moving the ball.
One
costly-
shout out I want to give Albert is the kicker for the Cowboys. That dude, he looked like a cheat code. I mean, that man bombing it out there. Ooh, boy, was he smoke showing
Every
that
time
thing.
they called his number.
And it wasn't even. I mean,
Wasn't even right down the middle.
it wasn't even like it was. Like it didn't even look like he tried to kick it that hard.
And he still had 5 yards of leg
Oh,
on a 60-yarder.
like I would be willing to try a 70-yarder. I mean, Brandon Aubrey absolutely murdered the ball with his foot.
And that's not even like an exaggeration. You get it 70, let him have it.
And Mike McCarthy just sent him out there 60 like it was no problem. There you go.
60,
First quarter.
60, 59, 49, and 38. All good, all down the
bombs.
middle.
All bombs. Easiest, and it wasn't
Plenty
even
of leg.
hard. It was.
Plenty of leg.
I got to give that guy a shout out because he deserves it. I don't think he's. If I remember correctly, he has not missed a field goal ever in his career because he is a soccer player from Notre Dame.
Very, very short
and
career.
He played USFL, I think
He
it
did.
was.
He did. He
And
kicked
he
in
never
USFL.
missed a field goal in USFL, and now he's still never missed in the NFL, and he got put on display against the Eagles.
Inevitably, he'll miss in his career. The fact is how big his leg is from 60.
And it looked very easy. It didn't look hard, I can tell you. He could break the record at some point in his career if he continues to kick like
We
this.
hope so.
28-year-old rookie out there just doing it.
But I got Philly, number 5.
There you go.
Get your act together. Talk to Jalen Hurts. If you need to get him healthy, hey, the last 4 games of the year are completely winnable without Jalen Hurts. If you can solidify your spot in the playoffs, sit him. Sit him. Sit him for 2 or 3 weeks. Get him ready for the playoffs. Simple.
Yep. Mine is obviously number 1 team is the San Francisco 49ers. If you think anything else, you just don't watch football. Like I said, I got 16 Pro Bowlers on the team and tell you why they're the best team in football. Number 2 is a little different. I have the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, I think they have taken that next step. I think Dak Prescott has taken the next step. I think that the Cowboys are on that echelon. They're not the 49ers, but they are the second best team in the NFL. I think the 49ers are just above everyone else, above and beyond, above and beyond.
Raise the roof.
They're here. Everyone else is here. So Cowboys still my number 2. Dak, I still think Dak's the MVP. I've been saying it for a couple weeks, and I still think he's the MVP. He's got a chance to prove himself. Let's see if he can get it done. My number 3 team, I'm going to take the number 1 team in the AFC. Baltimore. They run the ball well, but their defense has to do what it's been doing in the past, not what it's done over the last couple weeks. Lamar proved me wrong last week. No, it was 1 game. Lamar threw it through the air, and he played a great football game. I'm not going to take that from him. I'm not. When I admit that he did something, he did something. But I don't think that can be consistent, and you cannot rely on that. You have to be able to run the ball if you're the Baltimore Ravens. That is who you are. That is what you're built around. Lamar Jackson had I mean, it was like he was 24 or 43. Like he had. It's there. Like, I'm not saying he did not play well. I got to give it to him when he does, but I don't think it's sustainable for the Baltimore Ravens to throw the ball like that. They want to run it. They've got to run it, and that's who they are, and that's their pedigree. And run it, play defense. But the defense has not been playing well. My number 4 team is going to be the Eagles. So I have 3 NFC teams in there.
That's fine.
I know they got blown out, but like I said, you turn it over 3 times in Cowboys
That's
territory,
what
you're going to get blown
it's
out.
expected.
You're going to get blown
It's expected.
out. So when you get when you get blown out and how you respond. And they went through a gauntlet of football games. Let's just call it what it was. I mean,
Yes.
It was a gauntlet of games.
Yes. If they made it out of the gauntlet unscathed, they're Super Bowl champions.
I said when they went through that gauntlet, they went 2-2, it was going to be success because I expected them to win 2 and lose 2, and they did both that. So I'm not really ready to call them,
they're still a great team.
They're still a good football team. Now they get the easiest part of their schedule, so let's see how they respond now. Let's see if they lay down or they just puts a light under their ass and they get out there and they play football like we know they can. They've done in the past. But like I said, I don't like what I see.
No. You got to clean it up.
This week,
you got to clean it up.
This week they've got to show something because they're supposed to win. They should win. They should beat the Seahawks. You got them losing to the Seahawks. That'd be 3 straight L's. And like I said, you can't turn the ball over 3 times from your 3 best players. Fumble, fumble, fumble. Your 3 best players.
And what you said, you can't be running quarterback power.
Quarterback powers, guys. I mean, let's give Swift the ball. Swift is a talent, but it's
no quarterback power.
Us hiking the ball, as if I was an Eagles fan, us hiking the ball and running Jason Kelsey, as my lead blocker out of center, and Jalen Hurts running right behind him just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. Especially when your quarterback is supposed to be banged up. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
What you doing to him? You want him to get hurt?
Philly, get it together. I don't think your defense is going to get it together. I don't know.
No, they're going to always give up a ton of yards on the back end. That's just how it is.
You're going to have to play bend but don't break defense. That's all I can tell you. Because they can't cover the slot. Nobody. They just –
Jake Ferguson killed him over the middle in the zone.
And it's because they lost Blankenship in that game.
Yeah, they did.
And they love Brown. I think his name's Sidney Brown.
That's his name.
He came in, and they're like, we love this guy. He's great, and everybody wants to see him play. But Sidney Brown is 5'9". You are a 5'9" safety. You are not covering a tight end.
No.
It's not that you're not a good football player. You were in position. You just have physical attributes that you can't control. That's it.
It's out of your hands.
And that's the difference. Like, you were born 5'9".
Not to mention they signed a guy from the Colts to mitigate the problem, and he's very new. He's still understanding the scheme, but
yeah, I mean, it just seems like there's something off in Philly. I want to see what they do this week. Like, can they come out and just destroy?
If they can crush the Seahawks, like, all right, they're back.
Are they back? Are they good? But I want to see you run the ball too. And my number 5 team, it's like anytime I pick one, like, I don't know what to expect. And this one might shock some people. But my number 5 team is it's the Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Cleveland?
Oh, this is the Joe Flacco thing.
No. I'm not even a Joe Flacco fan. I've never been a Joe Flacco fan. I always thought he was a very overrated player. My thing is you can win 8 games with 4 different quarterbacks.
Defense.
There's something that strides you to win, and you obviously know what you're doing as a football team. So when everyone's connected and everyone's got it moving and flowing, something about it just says that Cleveland's going to win the game. Their defense gets pressure. The defense gets turnovers. You got Myles Garrett on one side. Newsom's out there playing great at cornerback position. I love these guys, man. I'm on the Browns train. Like I said, the greatest story to me would be Joe Flacco leads Cleveland to the Super Bowl. Will that happen? I doubt it. But would it be the best story of the year? We've had a lot of good ones, but this one to me would be the best. And I think the Cleveland Browns have that opportunity with that defense to take a step. Joe Flacco just can't lose the game. He doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be all world. He just can't lose the game. And last week he didn't. The defense forced 3 turnovers, 3 picks.
He did fine.
So, with that being said, like, I'm a big fan of the Cleveland Browns. It don't matter if it's loud. We're good. Yeah, you can take it. So that's my top 5.
All right. Well, I think we hit it all. I think we got everything.
I think we have put in the 10th episode special.
Yeah, we're at an hour.
And we've done very good with what we've been doing, and things are starting to flow into place. And I think we got it rolling. I think you guys are going to see a lot more of us very soon.
I think we're solidified now. I think we got the vibe. The ball's rolling. Now it's time to.
I like that
branch out.
we're doing it, like we're sticking it out. I like that we're grinding. I love the grind. The grind's fun, but the reward's even better. So,
double-digit episodes, baby.
Keep it trucking. We'll get this thing in no time.
All right. Well, until next week, ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 10. We're wrapping it up. See you next time.
Locks of the week. Get it right.